And on ESPN News. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
After Jason Belmonte won back-to-back majors earlier this year, many assumed he was a lock to be named PBA Player of the Year for the third straight time. But after Ryan Simonelli won the U.S. Open in November, he has emerged as a legitimate threat to snap Belmo's streak. Now, fresh off his first major title, Simonelli looks to take home the final major of the season, the PBA World Championship, and possibly Player of the Year honors. For the first time in 14 years, PBA bowling is live in primetime. Geico PBA World Series of Bowling 7, presented by Silver Legacy, kicks off with the final major of the 2015 PBA Tour season. It's the Rolltech PBA World Championship. Here are tonight's 5 finalists.
Our number 5 seed, a past PBA Rookie of the Year, looking for his first major win to add to his 3 career titles. From Orlando, Florida, Rhino Page. The number 4 seed, another past PBA Rookie of the Year, also looking for his first major and his 4th tour win. From Mission Viejo, California, Scott Norton. The number 3 seed is making his first televised appearance on the PBA Tour. He has to win 3 matches today to take home his first PBA Tour title. From Memphis, Tennessee, Gary Faulkner Jr. Earlier this year, he captured his first career major title when he won the Bullmore AMF U.S. Open. A win today will bring his career total to 5. From Cheektowaga, New York, Ryan Simonelli. Our number 1 seed has only to win 1 game today to take home a major title and the $60,000 first place prize. From Huntington, Indiana, E.J. Tackett. Rolltech PBA World Championship.
Hello again, everyone. Mike Jakubowski, alongside PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. Randy, welcome back to Primetime.
Mike, I love primetime. I love the nightlife.
245 players to the starting gate in the World Series of Bowling from a record 21 countries, 66 grueling games for tonight's top 5 just to make it here. Randy, 4 southpaws on the way to the top to the title match, and left-handed success has been the big story of this World Series. Why?
Well, the lefties have always had great success here in this building. In fact, from 1995 to 2002, 5 majors were won in this building, all by left-handers. And spearheading our 4 southpaws today has to be Ryan Simonelli, who is arguably the hottest player on tour, coming off of back-to-back wins. This one here is just about a month ago when he captured the United States Open and his first major. E.J. Tackett is our lone right-hander, and E.J. was able to do something, Mike, that none of the other right-handers could figure out. He was able to throw the ball with an extremely high rev rate and slow ball speed. 2 things to watch for on today's telecast. All of the traffic being created on the left side of the lane, what's going to happen to the oil pattern? How is it going to transition? And second, can E.J. Tackett, who has the entire right side of the lane to himself, create a good enough ball reaction to get to the pocket consistently and win his first major?
Tonight, we compete in classic stepladder fashion. Scott Norton faces Rhino Page, the winner and the debut of Gary Faulkner Jr., trying to become the 2nd African-American to win a PBA Tour title. Ryan Simonelli in the semifinal. E.J. Tackett will get the survivor in the title match. The third member of our broadcast team is Kimberly Pressler, who's laneside with Scott Norton and Rhino Page.
Thanks, Mike. Scott, let's start with you. Why do you think that you've been so successful this week on the World Championship pattern?
The World Championship pattern tends to be pretty good on the left, but this week specifically, we didn't have to catch up quite as far as we do a lot of other times. We had some success on all the patterns throughout the week, so when we got to match play, we were already kind of in good position. So definitely looking for a little more of that today and hoping to have a good outcome.
Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck to you. Now, Rhino, Mike and Randy, they already talked about there's 4 lefties on the show. You are one of them. But yesterday when you and I talked, you said that you want to think like a right-hander. What exactly did that mean?
It means use the left-handed traffic to my advantage. All week long, I've been a little bit softer with my ball speed, naturally because my wrist has been a little bit in and out. And I'm just going to use their traffic to create some room for error.
All right, well, good luck, and thank you so much for your time. Randy, Mike, you know what? I watched practice, and there may be a little bit more to that story. Back to you.
Yeah, there sure is, Kimberly, and we watched it along with you. Here's Tim Mack, tour rep for Rhino Page, and he's got a really strong bowling ball there, and he's putting a lot of surface on it. And here's the very first shot that Rhino Page threw with this bowling ball in practice. Talk about creating some friction. Ball goes right through the nose, leaving the big 4. He would eventually adjust off of that. Let's take a look at our 41-foot oil pattern, the World Championship oil pattern. The lefties are going to play pretty close to that first arrow. And E.J. Tackett, he's going to slow roll it, Mike, right around third arrow, out to about 7 or 8 and back.
Live in prime time, Rhino Page will begin on the left lane. Players will alternate 2 frames after this opening shot. Rhino out of Orlando, Florida. Each player with 3 tour titles, looking for their 4th here live tonight. Opening pitch from the foot of the Sierra Nevada. Light mixing shakes out the double wood. 3-pin.
A little too aggressive.
The last thing you want to have happen in your opening shot, especially a major championship, is disaster, and Rhino Page comes up light and avoids that, leaving himself a single pin spare attempt, the 3-pin.
Clean frame for Rhino Page out of the gate. Scott Norton out of Mission Viejo, California. 3 PBA Tour titles, including 2 majors, looking for his 3rd major tonight. Career on TV 5-3. Opening shot. And a strike for Scott Norton. If a player leaves and converts the 7-10 split on today's show, he will earn the $100,000 ultimate spare bonus, courtesy of Ultimate Bowling.
I'm not sure how many 7-10 splits have been made in this building, but you know, certain centers have characteristics where you can see pins flying out of the pit, lively sideboards. I remember back in the day, we had the phenolic pin decks and pins would really bounce. I'm not so sure that's an easy task in this building.
Norton peels off the teal and he rips the 5 out for an opening double.
Scott Norton, in my opinion, has been very solid on television. He always seems to bowl a very clean game. He always gets to the pocket. It's whether or not his carry cooperates, but he's always been able to somehow find a way to manage his nerves and the stress level and make good shots.
Page 2nd frame, opening match at the Rolltech PBA World Championship. Working on the spare. The 41-foot pattern tilted is tinted in blue, and first strike for Rhino Page. .245 in the field, a record 21 countries, 5 different oil patterns, and 66 games, Randy, just to make it here tonight.
9 qualifying games through each of the animal patterns, and then the World Championship oil pattern. A lot of games. I think the most games I ever bowled in a major was 56, not counting television.
Page strike up, looking to even things up. Third frame. White path, drops 10.
And back-to-back great shots by Rhino Page. He's really on his way back from that wrist surgery he had back in 2013. He finished second earlier in the season at the Tournament of Champions, and it's really, really good to see the turnaround for one of the nicest guys out on tour.
Made an incredible comeback from wrist injury to return to championship form. Now Scott Norton. Perfect from the first, third frame. Little tight, 6-pin roller, no.
Scott Norton's going to be probably the straighter of all the left-handers on that side. His rev rate's a little bit lower as we take a look at the Rolltech stats on single pin spare conversion. The field averaging about 92%. Scott Norton, however, he was perfect.
And join contests using your league scores. Download the Rolltech app today. Scott Norton says, Randy, he's getting it way down there, better than most. What does he mean by that?
Well, his ball's traveling a long way down the lane before it starts to turn over, and a lot of that, again, like I said earlier, is he doesn't have the highest rev rate on tour on either side of the lane. He's going to be a down and in player. And he has to rely on accuracy and keeping his hand up the back of the bowling ball to get it to read, to get it to start rolling and read the oil pattern. He did that beautifully right there.
Rhino Page coming back from a devastating wrist injury, returning to championship form, looking to run the ladder tonight. Double working, fourth frame.
Well, guess what, folks? We have a chance to give somebody a check for $100,000. A terrible break there. He comes in light and leaves the mixing 7-10 split.
If a player leaves and converts the 7-10 split on today's show, he will earn the $100,000 Ultimate Spare bonus, courtesy of Ultimate Bowling.
Well, that would have been fun to see Rhino Page convert that and make another $100,000. A few years back in Japan, Rhino Page bowled 300 and earned a check there for $100,000 for his efforts. It was back in 2009, the Japan Cup in Tokyo. And it happened in the opening match of the telecast, but he would eventually lose in the semifinal match. But hey, 100K is 100K.
Rhino says key for today is get through the first match. Fifth frame. Strike.
Yeah, and that's the hit he was looking for on the right lane, Mike J. He's made some really nice shots with the exception of the frame one where he came in light on this left lane. But a nice result there for Rhino Page, looking to get back into this match, trailing by 13. And we're almost through the halfway point of game one here at the last major of the season.
Norton with the lead. He says tournament preparation all about mindset, proper focus, whether it's for qualifying or in this environment for television. Light shakes it out and a double.
We're going to take a look at some of the changes that Scott Norton has made in his game. And you can see how much higher he's actually holding the bowling ball right here. And gets the ball into the swing extremely late. You can see he's almost into step 3. But that was his style, and it was key. It was, now look how much lower this starting position is right here. Ball into the swing a little bit sooner, makes his feet go a little bit faster. But now he doesn't have to struggle so hard to wait for that ball from the top of the swing.
And that was your track tech talk. 23-pin lead for Scott Norton, looking to extend it with another strike. 6th frame opening match. And a 7.
And that's the only problem with how softly Scott Norton's ball's entering the pocket. If that ball was a little bit left of where it just entered, he carries that light mixer. A little bit right, and it's dead flush in the pocket. But this is that flat 7 zone that Scott Norton is going to try to avoid. See, the 4-pin just goes to the sidewall and just lays in the left gutter.
Scott Norton really good in single pin spares in this event. Cross lane at the 7.
Well, think about that number, 106 for 106, not counting today. That's what a top-notch professional is all about.
Norton plus 22, and some big names did not advance through the qualifying rounds. Find out who when we return to the National Bowling Stadium.
A gamer can be a professional.
Phil!
Oh.
Hey, man.
Hey, Peter. Oh.
Joanne, is that you?
It's me.
You don't look a day over 70, am I right?
If you're Peter Pan, you stay young forever. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You make me feel so spring has sprung.
Walk the miles in your own way. Make the most of every day. You look sharp when you stand up tall. Close shave America, close shave Barbasol. Close shave America, close shave Barbasol. Close shave America, close shave Barbasol. Close shave Barbasol.
For those who pledge allegiance to life, liberty, and the endless pursuit of a damn good time, we have one suggestion. Find your passion in Reno Tahoe, USA. All seasons, 1,000 reasons. Brought to you by Circus Circus, El Dorado, and Silver Legacy Resorts in Reno. Visit RenoTahoe.com.
So Santa, tell us, are you excited about the possibility of playing with Kobe on his last Christmas in the NBA?
Well, sure. I'd like to play for the Lakers, but Kobe's already the Santa of the Lakers, you know? He's the center of attention. He runs the show. He pulls the reins. He's kind of old. And there can't be two Santas. So I guess I'll just play for the Clippers.
The Rolltech PBA World Championship is brought to you by Rolltech. Try Rolltech Action Bowling's daily contests and win real cash using your league scores. Make your mark. By Reno Tahoe, USA. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitrenotahoe.com. By Barbasol Shaving Cream, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. Now with new rust-proof aluminum bottoms. And by the USBC, a future for the sport. The National Bowling Stadium was completed in 1995 along with the Silver Legacy Resort in downtown Reno. The NBS is featured in the movies Greedy and Kingpin.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still upset about losing the semifinal match against Big Ern McCracken in that movie. I got robbed.
World Championship Tournament highlights courtesy of Extra Frame. Ryan Simonelli needed 2 strikes in the 10th to force Tackett to mark to secure the #1 seed, but he went 9 spare to start the 10th, and Tackett held on to #1.
Scott Norton finished his match against Gary Faulkner Jr. with a strike and a spare in the 10th, forcing Gary to get strike 9 spare in the 10th to hold on to the #3 spot. Gary would strike out, he would stay in 3rd. Norton claims the 4th spot. Former world champ Dom Barrett had a chance to make it into the top 5, but a 2-4-10 split in the 9th frame ended any hopes.
Rhino Page only needed good count in the 10th to secure the #5 spot, but he left at 3-6-7. Open frame, which opened the door for Stuart Williams. He needed 2 strikes and 7 pins in the 10th to win the match. But leaving the 2-4 on his first shot, handing Page the #5 seed. Top 5 qualifiers advancing in the PBA World Championship. Rolltech PBA World Championship qualifying results. Tackett, Simonelli, Faulkner, Norton, Page, your top 5. Just missing heartbreak in the position round for Stuart Williams, missing out. Former champion Dom Barrett and Sean Rash also just missing our top 5. Opening match of the World Championship rolls on. Scott Norton leads by 22 pins. Rhino Page can go bang, bang, and cut it to single pins. We continue in the 6th frame. A bit wide, pays the price.
Can we just watch me do that?
6, 7.
Yeah, we just watched Rhino do that in the highlight reel. Wow, and that couldn't happen at a worse time for Rhino Page. He'd already had the open in the 4th frame with that terrible 7-10 split. He struck in the 5th and looking to double up. Instead, he gets the ball wide, leaving the 3-6-7.
And with a chance to cut into the lead, even worse, open frame for Page.
You know, early on when the oil pattern's a little more on the flat side, it's hard to give the pocket away, and I think that's what's going to make Scott Norton tough to beat early on. The straighter you can go, the better when the oil pattern is fresh and when it's flat.
Page's last title coming in 2009 at the Viper Championship at the first World Series bowling in Allen Park, Michigan. Back in the pocket as the 4 slaps the 7 away.
Well, right now, Rhino Page is thinking the only chance he has to win this match is to strike out, which would give him 222. Right now, Scott Norton's in the high 2 teens. Unless something unforeseen happens and Scott Norton makes a huge mistake going through the nose, maybe leaving a big split, but I don't see that happening.
36-pin lead for Scott Norton entering the 7th frame. Winner here will get Gary Faulkner Jr. next along the stepladder. Powerful pocket hit from Norton, all 10 down. Earlier, Kimberly Pressler spoke with Virginia Norton.
Virginia, so you know Scott's game better than anybody else. I even see you at all the practices. So what do you think is Scott's key to executing a good shot?
Well, for him, it's always been using his legs really well. But the other part of it is very mental. I mean, he's very strong mentally, never give up attitude, and he never will.
How proud are you as a mom to see Scott out here?
It's inexplicable. It is just such an awesome feeling and very proud.
Well, good luck to Scott today.
Thank you.
Whoa. Little high hit, and that was the break that Scott Norton was hoping for and not Rhino Page. But you know what, great advice, and it's not always a bad thing to have a Hall of Fame mom in your court. I mean, she's watched him throw it for how many years now, and nobody knows his game better than Virginia Norton. Nobody knows the game of bowling much better than Virginia Norton. She's been around a long time.
Right next to Virginia, Scott's husband, Craig Woodward. Norton to maintain his 36-pin lead. And he covers 6. Perfect on single pins in this event.
Rhino Page using the lock with lots of surface, and the players talked about this new oil that the PBA is using here at the World Series of Bowling and the World Championship being very slick. Think of it, folks, as another sheet of ice on the lanes.
Hook potential on a scale of 10. That's the max ball, and that is not a max result. 3-pin.
This lane
just looked firm again, just a little firm, a little on the fast side for Rhino Page. And right now he's running out of frames. He desperately needed to strike there and strike out. Spare here, his max score will be 202. I can't tell you how excited Rhino Page was to be bowling on the show here in the National Bowling Stadium. It's something that he's looked forward to for a long, long time. It finally came to fruition, and I can't tell you, those 4th and 6th openings, or the openings in frames 4 and 6, very disheartening for Rhino Page. He was expecting much better.
We've reached the foundation frame in our opening match. Between first and second arrow, and that time good result. Strike for Page.
Seems like the oil's starting to move down the lane now, and when that happens, it starts to make that bowling ball labor. And you know, you've seen the last 3 shots in a row from Rhino Page, or excuse me, 3 out of the last 4 shots from Rhino Page come in extremely light and back to back on that right lane. Scott Norton using the swerve, his max hook potential bowling ball. Surface on that as well.
Norton pacing at 218 to Page's max. Here's Scott's foundation. Flat. 7.
That's okay though, because right now all he needs to do is fill frames and avoid opens, and a spare here and good count in the 10th frame, and he's going to lock up match number 1. You see that balance hole or that weight hole on the side of Scott Norton's bowling ball as it goes down the lane.
Perfect cover for Norton. On ESPN, it's NBA Friday presented by State Farm. We've got 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference at 8 Eastern when the Clippers and Spurs square off. Then at 10:30, Anthony Davis leads the Pelicans against Eric Bledsoe and the Suns. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown, charged by Dew at 7 on ESPN. Both games streaming live on Watch ESPN.
Did you see what Golden State did to the Phoenix Suns last night?
I did not.
It was like me playing against a bunch of second graders.
You would dominate. Mixing, and the 10-pin remains.
Game over. He needed 8 on the first ball. Scott Norton's moving on. Rhino Page's World Championship aspirations come to an end.
Another great run for Rhino Page, but it ends here as Scott Norton advances to face Gary Faulkner Jr. Scott can do what he wishes here in the 10th frame. Chooses to make the spare, stay in rhythm, and he'll have a fill ball. Craig is happy, and so is Scott, advancing. After the break, one of today's rising Major League Baseball stars who competed in this World Series of Bowling will join Randy and I in the booth. Stay with us.
300 isn't just a number. It is our destination. Shouting at a ball will make it strike more. Nothing is as satisfying as hurling dangerously heavy spheres at stationary objects and watching X's fill the frames. You know it, we know it. So here's for the ballers, the lane dwellers, the alley cats. We are PBA. Tonight we bowl. For all the latest DBA product information, visit your local pro shop or check out damngoodbowling.com.
What does it take to stay close to a dad who's oceans away? A box of crayons? A fleet of paper airplanes? A next-door neighbor with a box? And a delivery from overseas that make the distance disappear. Paper and packaging. how life unfolds.
And I knew that there's nothing to lose. Felt the crowd breathing and I closed my eye as they disappeared into the grooves. It took me home.
Lions Saints at 8:15 Monday on ESPN.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now.
Yes, bowl season is upon us, and we kick it off Saturday on ABC and ESPN at noon Eastern. The Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl at 2, the Gildan New Mexico Bowl, and at 3:30, the Holy War. BYU Utah and the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it begins Saturday at 2 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
And let's take a look at our Ebonite flashback. It was back in the 04-05 season. Who can forget what a season it was for PA Patrick Allen. There he is, just 10 in the pit. Here it comes again, a carbon copy. He would go on to win this world championship. He would win 3 titles en route to Player of the Route honors. Here's his opponent. Chris Loschetter leaves that blower 7. Patrick Allen made it a little interesting, though, here in the 10th frame. Take a look at this ball go right through the schnoz. He needed 8, he got 7. He gets up and converts the 610. He wins easily, and he wins over $350,000 that season.
PBA World Championship. Final score, Scott Norton 215, Rhino Page 202 up next. Norton versus the debut of Gary Faulkner Jr. It's Mike Jakubowski, PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, and World Series of Bowling competitor Mookie Betts, center fielder for the Boston Red Sox and maybe future World Series competitor.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So we go in and we work hard for every offseason.
Your first experience as a pro bowler here in Reno, what was it like?
It was fun. It was fun. Definitely a lot more than I expected. You know, bowling 36 games in 4 days is a grind.
Mookie, I'm taking a look at your game here, and it looks really, really good. But what are you going to take away from your experience here and apply to your physical game?
I mean, I'll take away more mental things, because this bowling is very mental, and it drove me crazy. So it gave me some patience.
And all the games that you bowled and competed against, actually did all of your qualifying with our tournament leader, E.J. Tackett. What did your body feel like after the competition was over?
I was just tired every day. Every day my hand was cramping, and I mean, it was tough.
So is bowling a sport?
Bowling is definitely a sport.
Thank you, Mookie.
You got to prepare for this.
Mookie, you got to cross with E.J. Tackett. He's going to bowl for the title tonight. What did you learn from E.J.?
That you have to strike to win. I mean, every game he was 240, 260. I mean, that's tough to keep up with.
Strikes are needed here in the sport of bowling. The World Series of Bowling continues on Sunday with the PBA Cheetah Championship, the 27th, the Viper Championship, Happy New Year, and the PBA Chameleon Championship Sunday, January 3rd, all shows at 1 Eastern. And then the Scorpion on January 10th, the Roth-Holman PBA Doubles Championship on Sunday, January 17th, and the PBA Challenge is at 3 Eastern, all on ESPN. World Series of Bowling 7. Mookie Betts will stick with us and call some action in our next match. He's going to stay with us. You please do the same.
Brett Favre is about to speak. Let's listen in.
First question.
Yeah, hey Brett, what are all the rumors about?
Well, the fact is, coming out of retirement.
Wow, that's big news.
Yeah, but the real news is that I'm changing the game in shaving.
Did he just say shaving?
Yeah, because now you don't have to pay a bunch of money to get a great shave. Now there's Tough Blade.
Finally, one razor that gives you a smooth shave and a blade that lasts up to 4 times longer.
Can you tell us why the Tough Blade lasts longer?
First, we use better blades made in Germany.
When it comes to shaving your face, you want a true quality blade that'll shave you close and glide smoothly over even the most sensitive skin.
So what's the secret, Brett? What makes the Tough Blade glide?
It's simple. Our blades have a Teflon coating.
And with our non-stick surface and smart blade spacing, each Tough Blade rinses clean easily. And no gunky buildup means a smoother shave and a longer lasting blade.
Brett, lots of blades to choose from. Why should I switch to the Tough Blade?
Look, the big razor brands, they want you to change their blade every single week, where the Tough Blade cartridges last for months. Any more questions?
No, we get it. Tough Blade is the answer.
You better get it. Tough Blade. It's the best way to get back in the game.
You could spend $20 for just 4 replacement blades, or you can get a great shave for the entire year for just $19.99 with the Tough Blade. As a free bonus, you'll also get our micro-touch trimmer for precise grooming around ears, nose, eyebrows, neck, and sideburns. Call 1-800-745-8684 or go to toughblade.com now to get your Tough Blade with enough cartridges for a year's worth of perfect shaving and the micro-touch trimmer for just $19.99.
No doubt about it. Tough Blade shaves you better, saves you more.
To get your Tough Blade and a year's worth of perfect shaving plus the micro-touch trimmer, call or go to toughblade.com now.
Call 1-800-745-8684. That's 1-800-745-8684. Don't delay. Order now.
Anthony, how do you think Santa will handle the pressure of playing in such a big game in Miami?
I think he's looking forward to it. He's looking to make a statement. Already came up with some nicknames for himself. Big Chimney, Swaggy C, Red Velvet, St. Nick the Quick, the Candy Cane Man, Elf Moves, Young Kringle, One Night Only, No Escape Clause.
And welcome back to the PBA World Championship. I'm Randy Peterson with Mike Jakubowski, Buxton Red Sox, Mookie Betts, and Kimberly Pressler is laneside. You guys want to have some fun?
I do indeed.
Good. Time for the Columbia 300 Fun Fact. George Branham III is the only African-American to win a PBA Tour title. My old tour roommate won 5 titles, including 1 major, and that was the 1993 Firestone Tournament of Champions. Now let's go down to the floor with Kimberly Pressler and Gary Faulkner Jr., who's looking to make history.
Thanks, Randy. So, Gary, yesterday when we talked, you said that you used to watch these events as a child, and it was a dream come true for you to be here tonight. So, how were the nerves now that you're on national television under the lights?
They're all right. I'm not as nervous as I thought I was going to be, so that's good. But we'll see how the first shot looks.
Well, you got a few practice shots. How was your ball rotation on the lanes?
They were pretty good, just how we thought they were going to be, so I'm prepared for it.
All right, well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Mookie Betts debuts. Take me back to your major league debut.
He's a better man than me. I remember my debut, and I was really nervous. You know, I was in Yankee Stadium and whatnot, so you know that rivalry was going on, and but I'm sure here if he says he's not, he's not nervous. He's been on the big stage before, bowling in college and whatnot, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
He was sure cool as a cucumber during the qualifying and the match play process, and I didn't perceive that he had that nervousness, and I think he's being straight with us.
Oh yeah. Gary, that's what Gary does. Gary's just always cool, calm, and collected.
Opening shot's a good one for Norton, Randy. It's a strike.
And a ball change. It looked like he went to a little more surface and something stronger. But, you know, Mookie, I was very impressed when we met with Gary yesterday. And he just seems like an extremely intelligent guy, but his mindset and his focus in terms of his game plan coming into today, I thought was brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never know what he's thinking. I got to know when we were younger, so, you know, I never really got close to him.
Pinch high on the nose, but gets a good result, Randy.
Yeah, let's take a look at how quick he gets the ball into the swing, and that's, you know, that's the power position. That's what all these power players are doing. Look at the high backswing, how steep that is. But he gets it into the swing early, gets the feet going fast, high backswing. It is the prototypical power player type of style, even though Gary's going very straight early with a lot of surface, but he can hook it when he wants to.
Strike apiece, second frame. And down goes the 7. Double.
I'll tell you what, I really like not only his mental moxie, but I really like his game. This kid is so smooth, he could slide uphill. Watch this. Beautiful position at the foul line, and then just absolutely slaps the head pin silly into the 7. Get out of my face.
First 2 shots are in the books. 2 strikes for Faulkner, and now back to Norton. Looking to move along the stepladder. And flat 7.
And Mookie, there's the difference in power. So Gary's got a little bit more power. He gets the head pin to come over and take out that weak 7, you know, that messenger. We saw Scott Norton leave a couple flat 7s in the last game.
I think it's just, yeah, like you said, the power with the revs. I think Gary may have a couple more revs on it, so gets a little more pin action.
He was hoping.
Talked to Scott earlier, and he mentioned working on a work-life balance, which includes more bowling in 2016.
I couldn't imagine more bowling. These 36 games in 4 days was enough for me.
Also brings the work-life balance. How do you mix the two?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, when you devote so much time to work, you know, you don't have much time, you know, here will be away from the lanes. And so it's tough to have that balance and to have a life, but also make sure you get enough done for work as well.
How do we get you into the Chris Paul event?
Oh, I was going to go this year, and you know, the date ended up changing, and I can't miss spring training. So
you know why the date changed? They're scared.
I didn't want to say it, but I had a feeling he was scared.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
With good reason. Third frame, Norton on the spare. Little tight on the pocket, 6 pin. Randy, that Scott says he generally likes to stay left of lefty traffic. Is that happening tonight?
Oh, he's definitely going straighter than all the other left-handers. The problem is he's right in the middle of the friction zone, the laydown zone. And so, you know, a mistake with his hand at the bottom of the swing, and his ball's going to read the front part of the lane early. And that's what it did on that shot there.
So another single pin to convert for Scott Norton.
Mookie, we showed a stat with Scott Norton in Rolltech where he was perfect throughout the qualifying portion of the World Series, or excuse me, the World Championship. He was a perfect 106 for 106 on single pin spare conversions.
Yeah, that spares are huge. I didn't really know how much. I didn't know how much spares counted until I actually got here and missed a couple, and took my my little 2-0s to 150s.
Yep.
He's got the first 7 today, and now the third pitch from Faulkner's a great one, turkey.
Yeah, and Gary's comfortable now. You know, it takes a couple of frames to get your legs underneath you, to kind of deal with the nerves and the anxiety that comes with being on television. And then once that goes away, then it's just autopilot. And that's what Gary looked like on that shot there.
Yep. He's looked like the whole time. I talked to him before, and he said he wasn't nervous at all, and you can't tell.
And he's not sweating profusely. Sometimes you see guys, they look like they have the meat sweats. It doesn't look like that with Gary.
How about an opening ham bone? 4-bagger for Faulkner.
How dare you use Rob Stone's ham bone?
It was a small H.
What a great shot and a great start. And you know, this is a thing, the first time on television, you want to get off to a red-hot start. Now he's put Scott Norton on the defensive. Scott Norton better come out swinging, and he better come out striking.
Norton finds himself 31 pins down, spare working, 4th frame. Still between first and second arrow, and 10 back there on a solid flush pocket hit.
And you can definitely see more motion in the back part of the lane with that ball that he's used, or that he went to in this game.
For the first time in a long time, legal gambling available for the Rolltech PBA World Championship on the board at MGM Properties here. And the odds on Simonelli 6-5, 75 for Tackett, 5-2 for Faulkner, and 7-2 for Norton.
And we weren't allowed to place any bets, Mike J. But if I were to have been able to, I would have bet on Mookie.
I had a sawbuck on you.
And the reason why is because as soon as Mookie found out, I'd get free Red Sox tickets. So.
Roller, no.
I was just happy to have odds on the sheet of paper before the World Series started. It was 200 to 1. I found out. So
did you?
It's better than 0.
Did you place a small wager?
I did not. I decided to keep those couple dollars.
There you go.
Roller falls off the back of the deck, costing Norton the double and another single pin.
He's perfect today, 7 for 7, and he's hit the pocket with every shot, but he cannot find a way to get the ball to go through the pins the correct way. So I have a good friend who's from, the Boston area, PGA professional Jim Renner, who's a huge Boston Red Sox fan. Do you have any idea how jealous he is right now that I'm sitting next to you and he's not?
Make sure you text him and tell him, hey.
I will. Jackal Carnage, Gary Faulkner Jr.'s choice of equipment.
Front 5 for Faulkner. Randy, Gary uses more surface because he says, I throw it hard. The finesse game is not for me.
Well, early on in this event, he tried to get softer and tried to hook, and it didn't work. And the reason why is because there was so much the lanes played so slick. As you know, Mookie, he says, you know what, I got to play my game. And the only way I can do that is I got to start taking some paper and some real aggressive sandpaper to my equipment.
Faulkner's debut is perfect so far, and now trouble. 4-6-10.
Missed in a little.
Yeah, missed in and then paid for it. The 4-6-10. He's got a big lead, though. The important thing right here is to not get silly and just take out the 6-10. And Scott Norton hasn't proved yet that he can string strikes together.
Open frame for Faulkner. Anthony Pepe strung the front 11 in his World Series debut, but it ends at 5 for Faulkner. Mookie Betts is going to stick around with us, and more action from the Rockin' National Bowling Stadium is coming your way. Faulkner Norton when we return.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling, helping kids learn the sport the right way and awarding thousands of scholarships every year. USBC supports Special Olympics and America's best when they go for the gold as the home and heart of Team USA. We're reaching for new heights in research, raising the bar with spectacular national tournaments, and have raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and support veterans. Visit bowl.com to learn more.
For the full video and storm discounts, visit stormbowling.com/PBA.
From the biggest name in bowling comes the most complete bowling experience on mobile. PBA Bowling Challenge. Face the PBA's biggest stars in over 70 tournaments. Unlock official oil patterns, venues, and unique bowling balls, like the lightning ball, the split ball, and the bomb ball. Roll against the pros in career mode, or challenge your friends in head-to-head multiplayer matchups. This is PBA Bowling Challenge. Download it free on Android, iPhone, and iPad.
The sun was rising, the day was hot, and we all gonna lose control. sky, and I knew that there's nothing to lose. Felt the crowd breathe in and I closed my eye, and they disappeared into the grooves. They take me
Lions Saints at 8:15 Monday on ESPN.
Oh, what fun it is!
Get to Nissan's holiday event for the season's best offers.
Right now, lease Rogue, just $199 per month. Or get a $179 per month lease on Altima. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now.
Saturday, it's Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers at Madison Square Garden. When Coach K and number 7 Duke host the 25th ranked Utes and 7-footer Jakob Pertl at noon Eastern in a journey to the tourney game presented by Sonic. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Second match continues. Gary Faulkner Jr. in his TV debut up 26 pins. Scott Norton, no doubles, and a spare working. We'll have the first shot in the 6th frame. The winner here will get Ryan Simonelli coming up next in our semifinal. Just behind Scott Norton, you can see PBA Hall of Famer Mark Roth. Good pitch from Norton, drills it. Kimberly Pressler is standing by with Rhino Page. Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Rhino, it was a good match, but that right lane seemed to give you a bit of a problem. What was going on there?
You know, that lane's been a little bit tighter down lane the entire week, and I knew that. And unfortunately, I leaked a couple shots left, and it wasn't going to recover. And so, just a couple bad shots, and that'll do it.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who do you think is going to take this tonight?
I got to put my money on EJ. We got 3 lefties left. They're all speed dominant. And when they have to start moving in to the inside part of the lane, speed was a really bad thing. So I got to believe EJ is a guy to beat.
And he's the only right-hander, so we'll see if that comes true tonight. Guys, back to you.
Big double for Norton, Randy, cutting the lead to 16 pins.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered. He needed a double and he needed to get back into this, and now he is. It's going to be very interesting now to see this very next shot by Gary Faulkner Jr. on the right lane coming off of the big split. How is he going to respond?
Faulkner has some television experience as a member of Weber International University, bowling for the 2012 Intercollegiate Team Championship. After the open frame, he's in the 7th and he leads by 16. Oh yeah, tomahawk.
That's the Rebs again.
That was savage. Man, did that messenger come flying over real quick. And what's really interesting is normally we associate messengers with bowling balls that have created a lot of motion. His ball's going pretty straight, but it's still slapping the pin so hard.
And your Barbasol close shave of the day, razors out the 7.
I think that's huge right behind the open, too, to come back and strike.
Agreed. And it's exactly what he needed to do. And let's see if he can double up to take a 26-pin lead.
Deep into the pocket.
It's good stuff. This kid's got a lot of moxie.
Randy coming in, Gary said, I'm not going to look at that first match. I'm just going to trust the game plan.
He said a lot of really, really interesting things, just but for me, you know, it was all about his psyche and his mental preparation. He talks about how he wants to slow everything down in his head, and he looks like he's been able to do that perfectly. Scott Norton now trailing by 26, 2 strikes, 1 here in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. It'll be a 6-pin match.
Last title coming in 2013 at the Players.
Get up. Come on.
And 4 gets the 7 for a turkey.
That ball checked nicely in the front part of the lane and then behaved properly in the back part of the lane, as you can see the scoreboard. The only blemish on Gary Faulkner Jr.'s scorecard is there in the 6th frame. Scott Norton now can strike out for 249, but that cannot shut out Gary Faulkner Jr.
Ever since Scott made that small adjustment of moving out a little and letting it come back, he's stopped leaving those flat 10s.
From flat
or
7s,
7s,
right.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he's hit the pocket every ball, but it's just been a question of getting the corner pin out.
Carry. Oh, 4 out of 7.
He asked for it. You could hear him say carry. Didn't happen.
Really?
When you're Gary Faulkner Jr., you're like, okay. But when you're Scott Norton, this was the last thing you wanted to see. Now max score with a spare conversion here, 228. Gary Faulkner Jr. is at 235 right now.
Spare for Norton. Mookie, what's one thing that you learned in this World Series of bowling that you can take to your next pro bowling experience?
Just that there's so many games and one game can't put you out. I think that's huge. I mean, you can try and salvage a game and then have a big next couple of games. I mean, you may not have 36 to bowl, but if you have a 6 or 7 game block, one game won't put you out.
Faulkner, important foundation frame, looking to advance to face Simonelli. 9th frame. Oh, slapping the 7 away. Faulkner, impressive. 7 of 8 in his national television debut.
Mookie, for me, the big difference is pin carry in this match because both players, with the exception of the one shot in the 6th by Gary, have hit the pocket with every shot. But we've seen 2 messengers from Gary, and that last shot where the 4-pin went to the sidewall and caved the 7 out. Not so the case for Scott Norton. What do you see as the biggest difference?
Like I said, just the revs. The angle coming in is a lot different. I wonder what the speed difference is.
There it is again.
Strike for Gary Faulkner, advancing to face Ryan Simonelli. Boston Red Sox center fielder Mookie Betts. Thanks for joining us. Good luck in the 2016 championship season.
Thank you. Hopefully I can come back and maybe bowl with Gary one day.
Faulkner defeats Scott Norton, advancing to match number 3.
Sorry, Mike J, but how savvy is this? He's got the match in hand, and he goes to another bowling ball, even though he's going to shoot 260. Wants to see a different look. He's got to be prepared.
Faulkner
He's a smart
using
kid.
all options, and he will advance. Player of the Year implications are coming in the semifinal. We roll on in Reno.
A Barbasol close shave is much better than a waking up in Vegas on the front lawn of the Little White Chapel and not finding a wedding ring on your finger kind of close shave. So, lather up, America. Barbasol.
If you're one of the 7 out of 10 people who don't get enough magnesium from diet alone, you may hit the wall sooner than you should. Refuel your body's magnesium level with Slow Mag tablets to help keep you going the distance. Learn more about magnesium at slowmag.com.
Dick's Sporting Goods has the gifts that matter for every athlete in your life. Take 25% off Under Armour fleece and cold gear. Save up to 50% on outerwear. Deals on Fitbit Charge and Fitbit Flex. And save on Nike and Under Armour basketball shoes. 50% off camo and Blaze hunting apparel. And select Reebok fleece and cold weather compression, now $19.98. Buy one, get one free Cabin socks. Or give a gift card and let them choose for themselves. This Christmas, give a gift that matters. Every holiday season starts at Dick's.
Uptake remains strong.
Opinions. There's no shortage in this world. Who do you trust? Whose analysis is accurate? How do you make sense of it all? A simple, unbiased stock score consolidated from the opinions of independent analysts. Is that too much to ask? Nope. Equity Summary Score powered by StarMine will help you execute your ideas with speed and conviction. And it's only on Fidelity.com. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
If you're one of the 7 out of 10 people who don't get enough magnesium from diet alone, you may hit the wall sooner than you should. Refuel your body's magnesium level with Slow Mag tablets to help keep you going the distance. Learn more about magnesium at slowmag.com.
A Barbasol close shave is much better than a slicing your tee shot on number 12 and watching it fly within inches of a personal injury lawyer putting on number 16 kind of close shave. So, lather up, America.
Barbasol. So Santa, tell us, are you excited about the possibility of playing with Kobe on his last Christmas in the NBA?
Well, sure. I'd like to play for the Lakers, but Kobe's already the Santa of the Lakers, you know? He's the center of attention. He runs the show. He pulls the reins. He's kind of old. And there can't be 2 Santas. So I guess I'll just play for the Clippers.
The Rolltech PBA World Championship is brought to you by Geico. Over 75 years of savings and service. By Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus, Reno's premier downtown properties. By Barbasol Shaving Cream, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave, now with new rust-proof aluminum bottoms. And by Reno Tahoe USA. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitrenotahoe.com. The Reno Arch has welcomed people to the biggest little city in the world since 1926. 3 arches have stood in this location. The current one was put there in 1987. And now inside at the National Bowling Stadium, Extra Frame, the PBA's online video subscription service, has exclusive live coverage of every PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA event. Next up, the Extra Frame January event is the DHC PBA Japan Invitational live from Tokyo, followed by live coverage of all 3 majors in the month of February. 3-day monthly and yearly subscriptions are available. For more information, click on the Extra Frame link at pba.com. Halfway home in our Rolltech PBA World Championship, Gary Faulkner Jr. impressive debut. 262 winner over Scott Norton, moving up the ladder to face Player of the Year candidate, the Ryan Express, Ryan Simonelli. E.J. Tackett waits for the winner of the semifinal. In the midst of his best year ever, Ryan Simonelli talks about the sacrifices it took to get to this point.
I think my dreams of being a professional bowler were very, very young. My mom actually still has a paper that I brought home from school. They asked me, I think I was about 7 years old, you know, where do you see yourself in 20 years? What do you want to do as a career? And my answer back then was to be a professional bowler. So I've always had that drive. My parents have always been my role models for how to live life, how to treat people, and those things. But when it came to bowling, it was always my dad. It was always me and him going out on the road and driving across country. And I always say that my mom made the bigger sacrifice between the 2 of them, because she always had to stay home and keep working, and she was alone and she wanted to come. I understood how much she actually sacrificed. And when you're a kid, you know, you kind of take that for granted. You don't realize all the things that your parents are doing for you. You start to expect them, and then when you step back and you've gotten to where you can never pay them back for something like that. But I knew that they never had a honeymoon. The second I had a little bit of money, I sent them on their own honeymoon out to Southern California, where my mom had never been. It's priceless to see that when I showed them that I was sending them there, the facial expressions were priceless. I guess it's, even though my dad was the one who got me into bowling and guided me my whole life, I guess my mom is really the one that is the biggest factor.
Family support has always propelled Ryan Simonelli, and right now he's in the place he's always wanted to be, in the semifinal match of the PBA World Championship. Father Angelo, who has provided that support and driven all of those miles, joined by Chelsea Simonelli in support of Ryan. And when we come back, that semifinal match, can Gary Faulkner Jr. maintain that hot streak against the Ryan Express? Semifinal is next.
Is that wallet bump under your rump hurting your back? Tired of searching for ID, cards, and cash? Is your billfold ready to burst? Introducing Wonder Wallet, the amazingly flat wallet that's twice as thin as a regular wallet, but holds twice as much. Incredible. Go from bulky and fat to slim and compact. Carry your wallet in comfort. Crafted with genuine leather, Wonder Wallet features 12 clear sleeves to hold up to 24 cards, ID, credit cards, insurance, and more, plus cash. Everything organized. Look how flat. Amazing. The secret is Wonder Wallet's patented, innovative design. It's laid out like a photo album to hold twice as many cards on each side. So it's super slim. Look, this wallet is stuffed, but it all fits perfectly in Wonder Wallet. No more bump under your rump. Wonder Wallet loves pockets.
This is my wallet, and it tends to be a little overflowing at times.
This massive leather.
It's thick, and it creates quite a lump when I put it in my pocket.
This one here is, it's completely pliable.
It's nice slim line, fits in there. It's comfortable and kind of invisible.
I can fill it with all my credit cards, nice and flat, and fits perfectly in your back pocket.
The RFID blocking layer stops remote scanning of your credit cards and stealing private information, keeping you protected. Wonder Wallet bends with your body, so it's comfortable to sit on, even in the car. Ordinary wallets can cost over $100. Order Wonder Wallet now, crafted with genuine leather for just $19.95. Available in black, tan, or red. But wait, order right now and get a second Wonder Wallet in the same color, free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Makes a great gift. That's 2 Wonder Wallets for just $19.95. What a deal. Offer not available in stores. Call or click and order now.
To order for $19.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-520-6287. That's 1-800-520-6287, or order online at getwonderwallet.com. Call or log on today.
Can we please stop with the lectures on smoking already? I've heard it all, and I want to stop. But cold turkey doesn't sound that hot unless it's between 2 slices of bread. Can't we take this one cigarette at a time? Because one less cigarette feels pretty big to me. That's how Zonic helps me quit.
With Zonic nicotine gum, every cigarette you don't smoke is a victory. 3 great flavors, $4.99 or less wherever cigarettes are sold. Zonic, every victory counts.
The sun was rising, the day was hot, and we all gonna lose control. Yeah, I turned the sands to the water sky, and I knew that there's nothing to lose. From the crowd breathing and I close my eye, and they disappeared into the grooves. It took me home.
Lions Saints at 8:15 Monday on ESPN.
The National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada is rocking tonight. Semifinal coming up next at the Rolltech PBA World Championship. Mike Jakubowski with a pair of bookend Hall of Famers, Randy Peterson, and the Medford Meteor is Marshall Holman. 2 major titleists as well, gentlemen. What's it take to win this one here today?
Well, it looks like right now it takes the steely nerves of a Gary Faulkner. My gosh, I was very impressed with his last game. Needs to stay focused, keep himself very, very centered. Not anything like what I used to bowl like, but I'm impressed.
You think the left side is going to hold up long enough for a lefty to be victorious?
Well, that remains to be determined. You know, they've got 4 players on that side of the lane, and they're digging out that oil. It's carrying down the lane. So we'll just have to wait and find out.
And you can see right here that the oil is already starting to move towards the second arrow on the left. You can see that it's starting to dry up in between first and second. The lefties are going to just start migrating and chasing that oil line. Marshall, for me, the biggie is what kind of ball reaction is E.J. Tackett going to have, our only right-hander on the show?
That remains a mystery right now. I mean, certainly nobody is messing with his side of the lane, but I really like the way the Faulkner is attacking the lanes. He goes very smooth through the heads. He's got a lot of speed. Heavy roll.
Just like that with a bad break at 10-pin.
You know, there's another player that can actually do a lot of what Gary Faulkner does, and that's his opponent, Ryan Simonelli.
Oh, my gosh, can he throw it hard with a lot of roll. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's going to be much more of a, you know, a mano-a-mano fair kind of a matchup with as far as the ball roll is concerned.
Agreed.
Cross lane spare for Faulkner, covers it expertly.
A lot of composure for such a young man bowling his first ever telecast. You know, there's only been 33 players in the history of the PBA Tour who's ever won a major for their first title.
That's very impressive. He's got a chance to do it. I certainly had a couple of non-majors before I won my first one, and we see our first look at Ryan Simonelli as he goes through the heart, leaves just the 2-pin.
Gary Faulkner used a lot of surface in practice. Marshall took a lot of heavy sandpaper to his bowling ball and really beat up the front part of the lane. And I think we're starting to see that, at least initially, with Ryan Simonelli's first shot, where that ball really dug in early and went high. And I think that was one of the things to really look for, and I talked about it in the Open, was how the left side of the lane transitions. What's going to happen? You know, left-handers are not used to a lot of transition, and sometimes that can be a really good thing when they have a really good shot on the left side, but it can also be a detriment when there's not a very good shot.
Well, they're not used to having to make the big moves that the righties make, because there's so many right-handers bowling, and they're digging up the lane. And yeah, it's a different atmosphere for left-handers to have 4 on a telecast.
Simonelli hits the pocket. He says, I hear all the player of the year and domination talk. You can't help but hear it, but what happens when you hear it, Marshall?
Well, you appreciate it. You know you've got a chance to do something very special, but you have to put yourself away from that and get into the moment and just bowl. Each tournament takes care of itself. Simonelli doing a great job. He was in the lead in this tournament till the very last game and then fell into second place.
Strike for Faulkner. Even match so far. On ESPN, it's NBA Friday presented by State Farm. We've got 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference at 8 Eastern when the Clippers and Spurs square off. Then at 10:30, Anthony Davis leads the Pelicans against Eric Bledsoe and the Suns. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown, charged by Dew at 7 on ESPN. Both games are also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
I'd like to see the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors go at it.
6-pin crumbles. Break for Faulkner and a double.
Huge break.
Yeah, we got a bad break in the first frame, leaving the 10-pin, but that more than makes up for it. Light on the right lane, strikes. A little bit high on the left lane, strikes. And he's got to be loose. Friendly kick of the 6.
He's loose. He's got a very clear blueprint in front of him because he's been on the lanes. Simonelli's coming in fresh.
Third frame, strike working in the nose. Beatty split the 2 and the 7.
2-7. Did not make the adjustment necessary. He went through the nose last time on that lane. He gets the same thing here. Ball just picks up a roll very, very early.
Did not like that.
No, right. He's confused right now, but he needs to center himself, make this 2-7 split.
Nice conversion. Ball clipping the both. And another look forthcoming at your hammer. Tough spare replay.
Just a beautiful shot. Gets the ball just left of the 2-pin. Ball hits the 7, and that's textbook.
Fourth frame. Simonelli with the spare working. Between first and second arrow. 4 around the 7.
Good pitch there, and ring at 7. Take a look at the difference in the left arm and the right arm of Ryan Simonelli. I mean, that's sick. I mean, we've seen that. You know, I remember Jeff Lizzie had a really big right forearm for a right-hander. But this guy literally has like three legs and 1 arm.
I know it's. Yeah, I know. It's like he's been doing a lot of one-handed push-ups.
Guys call him Popeye, and Ryan says he's starting to get used to it.
It's like it's swollen.
It's just strong.
Spoke with Faulkner yesterday, gentlemen, and he says I go off of feel. When I'm there, I feel nothing. Marshall, when you were there, what did you feel?
Well, when you're at your best, you're bowling really without your mind. You're just letting your body do what it naturally knows how to do, and that looks like what Faulkner is doing right now. He's just putting himself in a zone to throw the ball, let it take care of itself.
Strikes working. Strikes continue. The lead increases to 21. Impressive debut from Gary Faulkner. Kimberly Pressler is standing by with Scott Norton.
Thanks, Mike. So, Scott, I know it's a disappointment for you to not move forward, but let's talk about that pivotal moment in the 9th and that 7-pin. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I knew it was a huge shot. It put me back in the match and gave me the opportunity to get up and throw some shots in the 10th. If he wasn't able to strike out, it put a little pressure on him. And there's nothing I'd take back. I mean, I threw it great. That just, the nature of the sport sometimes.
Well, it's the first time that Gary's making PBA finals, and he seems calm. Did you expect him to be so calm and to play so well?
Well, first-time TV finalists are always a wild card. I remember on my first TV final, I threw the first 8. So it's always a wild card. I know that when I started on my TV final, I carried a hit I probably shouldn't have my first frame, and he did this time, and that always calms the nerves a little bit.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
And I remember my first show, I shot 150.
I shot 149. You're much better than I am.
And that's talking to 2 PBA Hall of Famers. Single pin remains.
Ball change for Ryan Simonelli, and the same ringing 7 as he changes to a Thug Life.
Good conversion for Simonelli, trails by 32. Marshall, what are his options?
Well, he needs to either move a little bit further to the right on this right-hand lane that he's gone through the nose twice in a row on, or he's got to amp up the speed even more. And I think it's just going to hook early if he tries to go with speed.
Speed is in Ryan Simonelli's arsenal. Defending U.S. Open champion pitches in the 6, and that's a good one. Needed that. And got it. Ryan Simonelli trails by 32. Player of the Year hopes are riding. But this man, Gary Faulkner Jr., smooth as silk. Stay with us if you can.
If you're the band Europe, you love a final countdown. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling, helping kids learn the sport the right way and awarding thousands of scholarships every year. USBC supports Special Olympics and America's Best when they go for the gold as the home and heart of Team USA. We're reaching for new heights in research, raising the bar with spectacular national tournaments, and have raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and support veterans. Visit bowl.com to learn more.
Anthony, how do you think Santa will handle the pressure of playing in such a big game in Miami?
I think he's looking forward to it. He's looking to make a statement. Already came up with some nicknames for himself. Big Chimney, Swaggy C, Red Velvet, St. Nick the Quick, the Candy Cane Man, Elf Moves, Young Kringle, One Night Only, No Escape Clause.
We're going to need more valets.
Join the Dodge side at the year-end Blockbuster sales event.
Well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Durango SXT with all-wheel drive for $269 a month.
The holiday season is here, and it's time to celebrate. With the best savings of the year, we're making this holiday the happiest of holidays. Lease the 2016 Elantra for only $119 a month for 36 months, or enjoy up to $3,000 in total savings. Visit the Hyundai Holiday Sales Event today.
Semi-final match rolls on at the Rolltech PBA World Championship. Mike Jakubowski, Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler with Marshall Holman at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, and a brand new feature, Randy.
Well, let's take a look at the 4 southpaws that are on the telecast today. They look completely different once they start the feet in motion and that ball swinging. But guess what, folks? In every sport, it's all about being in position. Take a look at Ryan Simonelli once he hits the foul. Now look at these positions. Look at the shoulder angle, the left shoulder down on all 4 players. The trail arm. Look at the trail arm in this position here on all 4 players. So much similarities going on at the moment of truth, the release point. That's why these are top-notch players, because they're in position.
The commissioner of the PBA Tour is Tom Clark. Rolltech founder and CEO Rich Belsky providing stats throughout professional bowling, and we appreciate their support of this Rolltech PBA World Championship. One of the interesting things about pro bowling is the break, and coming out of the break. Faulkner now has to come out of the break.
Absolutely, and it's, I always found it to be a difficult time to really keep myself focused for a 2, 3, 4 minute commercial break and then come back, and we'll see how Faulkner handles it. But so far he's been looking pretty sharp.
Spare 4-bagger. Mixing 10-pin.
He throws a good shot. The ball just doesn't quite carry through the pins, and he leaves a little bit of a weak 10-pin.
Spare to remain 31 ahead. He says, I'm the person I am because of my dad. Gary Faulkner, and this is Gary Faulkner Jr. making his pro bowling debut, trying to add his name alongside George Branham. Excellent cover, good spare shooter.
25 years old. I remember my first couple of television experiences, and just how trying it was to kind of keep the insides from wanting to be on the outside. And Gary's done a brilliant job of that today from the onset.
Yeah, he really has. He's handled himself, but he's handled himself well, but that's the way he's comported himself through the entire tournament. I've been here the last week. I've been watching these guys bowl, and I've been very impressed with how calm he goes about his work.
It's like a flatline demeanor.
With a whole lot of style, and a style in that strike.
Threw the wrong ball. Did you hear that? He said he threw the wrong ball on the right-hand lane.
We had 2 of the same pieces of equipment down there, I'm guessing drilled differently. Now here's the graphic I was looking for. There's the ball change that Simonelli made. Thug Life is the ball he's throwing now on the right lane, Dude on the left lane. And actually not using his strongest stuff.
No, he's not.
Power mix, strike, and a double for Simonelli, cutting the lead.
Looks like he moved just a little bit further to the right.
Yeah.
But still, he did not project the ball to the left. Kept it on line down the lane, and just
a little softer too.
And came in and hit like an absolute truck.
Yeah. Me trying to get my bowling ball to hit like that is kind of like somebody trying to push a fully loaded wheelbarrow uphill with their eye.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
He throws the ball almost 20 miles per hour.
Yeah.
To cut the lead in half, 8th frame. Made the adjustment.
Straighter on that lane from out. He can stay nice and tight on the left. On the right lane, he had to inch in and kind of move in just a little bit, give it just a little skosh of it room to the left and a little more arc on that right lane. And there's that follow through. You know, we've talked about that follow through, Marshall, going just to the inside of his head, but you know what? That's not something new. Don Johnson did that a long time ago.
Back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Faulkner strike working to re-extend his lead, and he packs the pocket. Plus 21. Bowling fans, head to PBA.com today and click on the Rolltech banner ad to find out how you can join a global community of connected bowlers and compete in contests using your own league scores. This is available by downloading the Rolltech app. Do it today. Faulkner doubles to extend his lead to 21. It's the foundation frame. And Faulkner can go plus 31 and be in command. Power mix.
Kid's got absolutely no nerves.
Yeah, he's fearless.
He's also got a very nice crack into the pocket, and that'll ease the nerves.
His ball doesn't seem to be reading the front part of the lane near as early as Ryan Simonelli's, and part of that has got to be what his hand's doing at the bottom and his speed. But he looks like he's able to keep the ball a little bit more on line.
Simonelli trying to narrow this lead to 21.
Strike for Simonelli, can still shoot 248. 2-tournament winning streak is on the line.
What a great shot. Let's see, three wins back to back stateside has only been done by, I believe, 2 players. Dick Weber did it twice. Not an easy feat. Johnny Petraglia was the other.
Petraglia back in 71. Dick Weber over the 59 and 60 and in 1961. 10 frame.
Gotta have it. Oh my.
Slides the 10 away.
Making his presence known.
Yeah. Giving his opponent something to think about.
Yeah. Cannot shut Faulkner out, but he can certainly send quite a message.
Yeah. This is why you put power and speed on a bowling ball. What was that old saying the late, great Billy Whaley used to use? Hit him thin and watch him spin?
Yeah.
Second shot in the 10th. Winner advances to the title match. And the 10-pin stance.
Well, that looked better than the last shot.
He's surprised. He really thought he had that one. Well, with the conversion here, he's going to force Faulkner to get up and mark in the 10th frame. So it's not over.
237 for Ryan Simonelli.
9 spare 9.
I thought for sure that would be enough.
Marshall Homan,
there's
doubles partner.
My good buddy Mark Roth. He'd rather be down in the lanes bowling right now.
Faulkner to advance to the title match. It's in the nose.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Very, very fortunate. And Simonelli's going, that ball could have been a split. Faulkner must make the 7-pin. Wow. Not sure what he did different there. Maybe a little softer, a little extra hit. I know when
maybe grabbed it a bit.
Grabbed a little bit at the bottom. There's so many different ways of making mistakes. And look at Simonelli. Well, he wants it.
Got to make this.
Pure stroke under pressure. Faulkner looking good, and he's in a title match for a major. And he's got another chance to take a look at another piece of equipment.
Yeah, going to another bowling ball, and that right lane is becoming suspect for the left side now. It's starting to read real early. He wants to get a little bit different picture with this fill shot right here. All he has to do is give him a good look going into the title match. And that didn't react at all.
Faulkner Jr. advances the title. We'll face E.J. Tackett. Get into the holiday spirit, Reno style, when we return. Marshall Homan, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Happy holidays.
All right, thank you, guys.
A Barbasol close shave is much better than a just as you sit down to watch the game. Your wife asks you to hang the drapes, but then says, never mind, because she doesn't like the color kind of close shave. So, lather up, America. Barbasol.
Success has to be earned. Earned through hard work and dedication. There is no easy road. There are no shortcuts. You have to put in the time, get focused, and outwork your competition. Go earn it. Get motivated.
For those who pledge allegiance to life, liberty, and the endless pursuit of a damn good time, we have one suggestion. Find your passion in Reno Tahoe, USA. All seasons, 1,000 reasons. Brought to you by Circus Circus, El Dorado, and Silver Legacy Resorts in Reno. Visit RenoTahoe.com.
Live, on demand, worldwide, Extra Frame is always on. It's the online bowling channel. Watch live qualifying rounds and match play from every PBA Tour stock and every PBA 50 Tour event on your big screen, PC, mobile phone, or tablet. Archived nationally televised shows and content is available 24/7. Extra Frame is always on. Subscribe now at www.extraframe.tv.
A Barbasol close shave is much better than a just missing the elevator with your coworker's Stinky Pete seconds before a massive power outage kind of close shave. So, lather up, America.
Barbasol. Sun was riding, the day was hot, and we all gonna lose control. Yeah, they turned the sands to the water sky, and I knew that there's nothing to lose. From the crowd breathing and I close my eye, and they disappeared into the grooves. It took me
Lions Saints at 8:15 Monday on ESPN.
On December 12th in downtown Reno, thousands of enthusiastic Santa wannabes dressed up like Old St. Nick and hit the streets for the annual Reno Santa Pub Crawl. Spirits were jolly, costumes were bright, and all reports were that no one was naughty and everyone was nice. I wandered the streets that evening, and it was a lot of fun at the Santa Pub Crawl.
Reminds me of my buddy Nick's golf game back home. Very colorful.
I was looking for Randy clubs.
Very festive.
Sports Center at night tips off tonight at 11 Eastern. John Buccigross with Kevin Connors. They're followed by SVP in the midnight hour, who will talk college hoops with top-ranked Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo. Sports Center at night right here on ESPN and streaming live on Watch ESPN. Time now for the Geico Championship recap with Randy Peterson.
Match number one featured Scott Norton taking on Rhino Page, and it was two splits that really cost Rhino a shot. He finished strong late, but Scott Norton too consistent. He wins 215 to 202. Then in match number two, first time on television, Gary Faulkner Jr. Nerves? What nerves? I got your nerves right there. Gary Faulkner slinging wood. He takes care of Scott Norton, 262-218. And in the match you just saw, Gary taking on Ryan Simonelli, the hottest player on tour. What does Gary do? Well, he just keeps striking. Finishes the 10th frame the right way. He wins 247-237, setting up an exciting title match.
Title match is coming up next. Uninterrupted from the right, E.J. Tackett. From the left, Gary Faulkner Jr. Stay where you are.
HotelPlanner.com is #1 in group travel, offering free event planning services. Book like the pros. Book with HotelPlanner.com.
I absolutely love my New York apartment, but the rent is outrageous. Good thing Geico offers affordable renters insurance. With great coverage, it protects my personal belongings should they get damaged, stolen, or destroyed. Excuse me.
Delivery. Hey, lo mein, Szechuan chicken, chopsticks, soy sauce, and you got some fortune cookies. Have a good one.
These small New York apartments.
Protect your belongings. Let Geico help you with renter's insurance.
A gamer can be a professional.
Phil!
Oh.
Hey, man.
Hey, Peter. Oh.
Joanne, is that you?
It's me.
You don't look a day over 70, am I right?
If you're Peter Pan, you stay young forever. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
You make me feel so spring has sprung.
So Santa, tell us, are you excited about the possibility of playing with Kobe on his last Christmas in the NBA?
Well, sure. I'd like to play for the Lakers, but Kobe's already the Santa of the Lakers, you know? He's the center of attention. He runs the show. He pulls the reins. He's kind of old. And there can't be two Santas. So I guess I'll just play for the Clippers.
Homeowner Protection Services can help save your home. We specialize in foreclosure assistance, and that's all we do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Homeowner Protection Services now. Homeowner Protection Services has a network of attorneys, and our agents are available to speak to you now. New laws are in effect that may save your home. So call Homeowner Protection Services now.
With Mario Perillo, Mr. Italy, and Alitalia, you don't have to...
Remember my dad? He'd be proud that we've added custom-designed Italy vacations to our legendary escorted tours. While generations come and go, some things never change, like the quality and value that we provide on all our tours.
Call now for your free brochure at 800-324-4051 and get your DVD and a free subscription to the Perillo Traveler magazine. Call in the next 30 minutes, and when you travel with us, get this free $100 travel card. Call 800-324-4051.
PBA Rolltech World Championship rolls on at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno. And the matchup is between E.J. Tackett and Gary Faulkner Jr. Faulkner looking for his first title and a major at that. Kimberly Pressler is standing by with our tournament leader.
Thanks, guys. So, EJ, 1 week before you started the World Series, you decided to make a huge change to your game. What was it?
I changed from 15 pounds to 16 pounds.
Now, why did you decide to do that?
My hand was getting a little fast with the ball, and talked to a couple of guys on staff, and they thought it'd be a good idea, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Well, let's see if that works out for you tonight. Good luck.
Championship match is coming. Randy, what's left of the oil in blue?
Well, you can see how far left it, or excuse me, how far right it's moved for the left-handers. It's almost on top of second arrow. You can see that there's not a whole lot left here, and a lot of folks watching at home might think, well, that's a good thing. That gives them friction to throw into. Well, it's not good when it's early, when it's in the front part of the lane, because it makes the ball roll too quick. Gary's going to just keep migrating in and trying to keep his line straight in front of him. It's what he told us last night, Mike J. When the lanes break down, I'm going to parallel in and try to keep that straight down the board look.
Trust the game plan. So far, so good. Opening shot, title match. Perfect strike.
Yeah, and it looks like the trouble lane right now for Gary Faulkner is the right lane. At least that's what we saw at the conclusion of the last match, when he went through the nose, made a ball change, and then went light. Now, let's see. E.J. Tackett, for the first time, has got the entire right side of the lane to himself. Let's see what he's got.
E.J. Tackett out of Huntington, Indiana, his first PBA title coming this year in Lubbock, Texas. Looking for his first PBA major. Opening shot for Tackett. 2-8-10 split opener.
And not the start EJ was looking for. That ball is too far right, too far down the lane. You can see that his backswing is actually a little bit lower with the 16-pound ball, but right here at the bottom of the swing, he still does what a lot of the great players out here does at release. He's very soft with that hand at release.
Back of release and count lost as well. 7 out for Tackett. EJ is adjusting to tour life, which is tough, and bad runs can do damage to the mental game. He had a great run to get to the title lead and one bad shot to assault the mental game, but now up in the second frame. And that one's in the nose, 3-6.
Good 2 shots there, buddy. Those are really close. Kurt.
First shot on the right lane was wide of target. This one is up the boards, and there's no chance of it holding pocket, and he knew it as soon as it left his hand. You can see it was just slightly right of the rangefinder, down lane at about 45 feet.
Other finishers in the Rolltech PBA World Championship, those making match play. Stuart Williams' heartbreak in the position round. Former champion Don Barrett, 7th. Sean Rash, Thomas Larson, Anthony Simonson, Matt McNeil, Jacob Buttriff, O'Neill Gomez, lefty Paul Moore from England, who we'll see later in the World Series of Bowling. Martin Larson, Patrick Girard, J.R. Raymond, Eugene McCune, Michael Haugen Jr., Ryan Greywise, Sam Cooley, the Australian, Devin Bidwell, and non-member Warren Crawford. One interesting name not on that list, Jason Belmonte. For the first time, he's missed 2 consecutive cuts in majors. Tackett turns it over, picks up the spare.
Well, if you're young Gary Faulkner Jr., this is exactly what you want to have happen, because this allows you some breathing room. This allows him to stay in the moment, stay focused. He's not being pressured right now. This will certainly free that swing up. Working on a strike. Now let's see what kind of reaction he gets on this right lane.
6 pin, just a touch high.
Looked like he just tried to go a little faster with it. He still has that nice direct down and in line, but that certainly looked like it was more firm, and that ball almost held pocket.
Faulkner spoke to us about his calm, meditative approach to control mindset and shots, and every element of that we're seeing here tonight, Randy. Even impressive for me when the wrong ball was picked up. There wasn't an overreaction. He just kind of laughed and moved along.
Yeah, pretty cerebral right now.
Kimberly Pressler is laneside.
Thanks, guys. So, Ryan, you seem to have a bit of a slow start there. What do you attribute that to?
You know, the front of the lane and the right lane hooking so much just caught me a little off guard. Took me a little too long to get into 2 different balls. And when I finally got there, I was just so far back, I couldn't quite get back into the match. And at the end there, when I did have a chance, the hits just went Faulkner's way. It just seems like today might be his day.
Well, it wasn't the way you wanted it to go, but you gave it a good try. Thank you so much.
Faulkner peered it on the left side.
Yeah, it's all about the right lane now for Gary Faulkner. The left lane's not an issue. You heard Ryan Simonelli say just how strong and how early that right lane is reading.
Talking to EJ, his goal is to win titles and majors. He wants to build a Hall of Fame professional career. Winning his first major would go a long way. 3rd frame early in our title match. Wide path, doesn't get back all the way, 2 pin.
Outside in more.
First frame here on the right lane, 2 for 810. Next shot is a good 3 to 4 boards left of that shot and goes high. And here's the next shot that we just saw on that right lane. You know, EJ is struggling with reaction, and he's also struggling with shot making. And one of the reasons why he's only won 1 time is because of his average as the #1 seed. You know, he's averaging about 192 in title matches. So we take a look at his arsenal, going with primal rage, kind of what his insides are feeling right now, seeing how he hasn't even been close for the first 3 frames.
9.5 out of a scale of 10 indicates the hook potential on the bowling ball. Now 4th frame, trailing by 14 pins. Title match for a major at the PBA World Championship. Just outside of center arrow. And a 2-8-10, horrifying.
What is that? Really?
Panic mode's going to set in now because he has 0 ball reaction. You know, he really liked that shot. And it goes 2 for 810, or excuse me, 2-8-10. And so now what are your options? You had all that practice, you had all that time to build up something on the right side of the lane, and you start off. Wow, that was pretty close. You start off
release and almost made it.
You start off with 2 opens in 4 frames. pretty close to converting this. And that's a tough split. We actually saw Mika Koivuniemi make it during the team championships in Portland, Maine.
Key shot, right lane can extend his lead.
And he made a ball change, even though it's the same ball, it's a different layout. Uh-oh.
Slapping of 7.
Could this be number 34? I'll tell you right now, I think what he's done brilliantly is we've talked a lot about the mental composure, you know, the maple moxie and how he's really kind of managed the insides. But, I mean, let's take a look at his game. It really is a beautiful game. He's very soft at the bottom of the swing. I refer to his release as pet the kitty. Don't strangle the cat, pet the kitty.
And into the nose, and a big break, crumbling the 4.
All right, well, that time he strangled the cat. And then all this coming from Tour Rep Rob Gottschall, but that time he strangled the cat, but he got away with it. You know what? You know how many times I won a tournament out here on tour, Mike J, where I got breaks like this. And you know what? You can physically bowl great, mentally bowl great, but if you don't get the breaks, guess what? You're not going to win. Everything going in the direction of Gary Faulkner Jr. Is he going to be the 34th player ever to win a major for his first title?
Bowling's version of the blue double falls in, spare converted, 37-pin lead. Still 6 frames left for E.J. Tackett. Tackett up 5th frame. He really needs to have a strike.
Ball change. He's got absolutely
Keeps
zero
going.
recovery from the right side of the line.
Just won't.
And as soon as he squares up, it goes through the nose.
Strike percentage here, courtesy of Rolltech, E.J. Tackett, 67% plus strikes.
Why? I don't understand.
And the
why.
entire field, 59.5%. As always, great stats brought to you by our partner Rolltech, where real-life competition is at your fingertips. Compete for fun or step up to the action bowling, where you can join contests using your league scores. For all this and more, download the Rolltech app today. And a big open for Tackett. And he had the whole lane to himself.
Yeah, zero ball reaction. Every time it goes right, it hangs. And so, as a player, when you see that, the tendency is to grab it so the ball doesn't go to the right. That's what he did in the 2nd frame when he went high. Here's just yet another ball change for E.J. Tackett, just trying to find a ball that will recover.
Finally.
Well, now that's up the lane a little bit more too, though, Mike.
Let's get back to felines after we analyze this fine strike.
That was about a board right from where he went through the nose in the 2nd frame. And that ball holds pocket.
Referring to our feline friends, when you're being kind to the kitty or you're strangling it, what's the difference?
Pet the kitty. Real soft hand at the bottom. Watch this. How soft that hand is.
Yeah! 49-pin lead for Gary Faulkner Jr. Very impressive chatting with him yesterday. What you see is what we saw. And what he's seeing is a 49-pin lead, 4 frames remaining to claim his first PBA Tour title, a major, here in Reno, 7th frame. Faulkner destroys the rack.
Well, Gary Faulkner is just minutes away from capturing his first ever title, and it's going to be the World Championship, a major. And I know it says in his bio that he's from Memphis, Tennessee, but he spends a lot of time in my hometown of Orlando. There's a lot of people in Orlando right now rooting for young Gary Faulkner Jr. What a performance.
Don't throw that ball.
Tackett on the double.
Throw that ball.
Still shoot 210.
Darn it.
But would need a lot of help from Faulkner.
I'm not sold yet, but if EJ strikes here, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was probably the ball he should have started with. I know that's a bold statement, but
what's going through Gary Faulkner's mind? The only thing on this man's mind: strikes, 8 frame, 10 pin.
At least that ball picks up in the spot where the other ones went 2-4-10
Good run.
or 2-8-10.
Gary Faulkner plus 50, 8th frame. Stay out of major trouble. Claim a major title. Power mix! He's got every look.
That's just filthy. And look, just flatlining emotionally, but you know, inside, man, there's got to be just emotions wanting to just pour out of that brain and that body. One more strike here, and we pretty much hand Gary Faulkner Jr. the trophy.
How about a messenger? No, 7-pin stands. Randy, you competed with George Branham Jr. He's going to get company here tonight.
George Branham III. I roomed with George Branham III. I grew up bowling juniors with George Branham III in Southern California. Gary Faulkner Jr. just became the second African-American to win on the PBA Tour and win a major.
A major title at that. Faulkner can skate home and enjoy it. Conversion of the single pin and another heartbreak for E.J. Tackett. Randy, learning is tough on the PBA Tour.
Tough learning curve. E.J. struggles in title matches, but I'll tell you what, you can't take anything away from Gary Faulkner Jr. He bowled magnificently. He was just brilliant. Made the right adjustments, had the right look, and threw it spectacularly.
The PBA World Championship trophy soon to be awarded to Gary Faulkner Jr. Saturday, it's Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers at Madison Square Garden when Coach K and number 7 Duke host the 25th ranked Utes and 7-footer Jakob Hertel at noon Eastern in a journey to the tourney presented by Sonic.
You really got a feel for EJ. I mean, you know, he led this tournament and, you know, he was able to do his thing and it didn't work today, but you really got to question what went on with the decision-making prior to this title match.
Runner-up finish for E.J. Tackett. And now a victory lap for Gary Faulkner Jr. Junior champion, collegiate champion, PBA Tour major champion.
Well, culmination of a lot of games bowled this week, a lot of hard work, 66 games just to get here, 3 more today, 69 games not counting practice. This kid deserves it.
No matter, Gary Faulkner Jr., you claimed your first PBA Tour title. We will meet him when we return to the National Bowling Stadium, and we'll hear more from our champion.
Walk the miles in your own way. Make the most of every day. Look sharp when you stand Barbasol. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol. Close Shave Barbasol.
What do you do when you live in the desert, but dream of the wonders beneath the waves? Sheet by sheet, honey, box by box, page by page, you make your way to the sea. Paper and packaging, how life unfolds.
Now Rain-X has revolutionary wiper blades that treat your windshield with a water-repellent formula. And when you turn them off, something amazing happens. The water repellency keeps working. So water beads up and flies away. That's clearly not the case with other wiper blades. So Rain-X wipers help you prepare for whatever comes your way. Rain-X, outsmart the elements. Find Rain-X water-repellent wipers at these retailers.
It was the week before Christmas, and all around town, b-ball fans were dying to watch LeBron, Steph, and Russell throw down.
We should bring back the short shorts. Who wears short shorts? I do. I wear short
A
shorts.
basketball miracle, right here on Christmas Day, stuffed into our stockings by the jolly NBA. Join us for games. Oh, and something else cool. In between all the dunks, a sneak peek of Deadpool.
We hope you've been nice.
See you on Christmas, boys and girls.
Who are you talking to?
The Rolltech PBA World Championship is brought to you by Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus Circus, Reno's premier downtown properties. By Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. By Reno Tahoe USA. For your next vacation getaway, go to visitrenotahoe.com. And by Rolltech. Try Rolltech Action Bowling's daily contests and win real cash using your league scores. Make your mark. National Bowling Stadium and the appreciative crowd cheering on Gary and the winner, Faulkner Jr., over E.J. Tackett for the Rolltech PBA World Championship. Down lane side for the presentation with Kimberly Pressler.
That's right, I'm laneside with a very excited crowd, and I'm also here with Tom Clark, the commissioner. You have a trophy to give Gary.
Thanks, Gary. Unbelievable performance on behalf of Rolltech and the PBA. This is the Earl Anthony Trophy. You're the world champion, man. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
I think Rich got a little something for you as well.
Here's your check.
Oh, look at that check. Gary, you got to show some excitement here. You were calm throughout the entire thing, but you were on fire. You went through 3 champions to make it to the winner's circle. What does this moment mean to you?
It means everything. Like I said, this is a dream come true, and it's just an unbelievable feeling right now.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the game. You seem to, at ease, hit the pocket when everybody else struggled. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I think Motive and Brett, we worked a lot. We did some different layouts and tricks, and I did some hand tricks to stay where I was, and here I am.
Are you really as calm all the time like this? Because you're in the national stage in front of millions of people.
Yeah, I am. I get that a lot.
Well, I know when we talked yesterday, you said that when you're here, you're working, you're putting in the work, so family and friends are at home. So now that you are a major champion, anything you want to say to them?
I want to say thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad. Love you, Alex, and I did it.
You sure did. Congratulations, Gary Faulkner Jr. You are now a major champion. You have just won the Rolltech PBA World Championship.
Coming up on Sunday at 1 Eastern, continuing coverage of Geico PBA World Series of 7. It's the PBA Cheetah Championship. Join us on Sunday. PBA history made once again in Reno. Gary Faulkner Jr. wins the Rolltech PBA World Championship.